They were a peaceful world before the incident. Where it turns humans into the most something more sinister.
Yo, what's up, film enthusiasts, and welcome back to another review. So, I just got done watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and here's my honest and spoiler-free review. So in this movie, we follow the Turtle Brothers as they work to earn the love of New York City and get accepted by the humans. They discover that there are other mutants like them, but they are trying to take over the world. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, man. It's this movie was everything I hoped for. You probably expect me to say something like I grew up with this movie and that movie and blah 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 blah, and you're completely correct. So, I did grow up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but not the animated movies or the 90s film. And you're guessing now, like, Michael Bay's films? Yes. I know people don't like them a lot, but for me, I grew up with these turtles. So, it still has a special place in my heart. So, this is my first ever animated TMNT movie. Let me tell you, it was so good. It was fantastic. And here's why. So what did I like about this movie? Well, let us start off with the voice casting. It was a perfect choice to make these turtles actually played by real teenagers like me. It's crazy that a TMNT movie has words like "ris," "sus," "bro." I heard all of these things in that movie, and it's crazy that they use all those slang words, and that's actually how teenagers talk to each other now, using those slang words. And honestly, every joke in this movie I laughed at was from these teenagers. I know maybe not everyone is going to like these kinds of humor or anything, but I laughed at it so many times. And the chemistry between each of these turtles was just amazing. And with them actually recording their lines in the same room, and you can hear that in the movie. They like the chemistry. It's so good between the turtles. It was just so amazing, and the way they bonded with each other. But that's just the main lead. The supporting cast, like Ayo Debris, hopefully I'm saying that right, as April O'Neil. She did such an amazing job capturing this character, but only using her voice. And then we have Jackie Chan as Splinter and in this movie, and honestly, I didn't recognize him. I know who he is, of course, but by hearing his voice in the theater as Splinter, I did not recognize that it was actual Jackie Chan. And when I look at the cast now, I was kind of surprised that Jackie Chan was Splinter, because I didn't know that actually. And that's the same kind of thing as Seth Rogen as Bebop, or Post Malone as Ray Fillet, and Paul Rudd as Mando Gecko. All of these people I actually did not recognize in the theater. So when I look up the cast now, I was kind of just surprised by the cast. And speaking of Jackie Chan as Splinter in this movie, he was perfect. The way they made his arc in this movie was just perfect. And I think if you would ask any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan that Jackie Chan was going to be Splinter, they would freak out. This is just a perfect casting. He also has a good chunk of this movie as his screen time. It's the backstory, emotional backstory, and his arc in this movie is just really done well. And how he wants to just protect the children from the outside world, because he actually experience something bad with the outside world. And now we can talk about the animations of this movie. Holy. The animation of this movie was so good. The animation of this movie was so good. Maybe it's not Spider-Verse level animation, but the animation is two different things in this movie. From Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse to TMNT, I absolutely love the animation and the direction it took. Yes, it's pretty simple, but what do you expect from these kinds of movies? Right, might be most for younger audiences, newcomers, but there's still so much for those who have grown up with this franchise. So this movie overall is just sweet, enjoyable to watch, and the action sequences in this movie was actually really good. They were a lot of fun. Also, massive props to Seth Rogen for producing this movie. I myself, when I found out that Seth Rogen actually produced The Boys and Invincible, I was like, I'm just shocked. I didn't even know he did that. So this movie just so much fun, and I was sitting there and just enjoying myself with my popcorn in my hand and having the biggest smile on my face while the whole time I was sitting in this movie. So I do think this movie is going to introduce a lot of newcomers to the Turtle universe. But if you were a fan already, I do think you will love this movie. And the soundtrack in this movie was just phenomenal. And compare that with the action sequences, these action sequences is just perfect. And you have set animated action sequences with a banger soundtrack. Perfect. Just perfect. Even though I would love another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movie, this movie being animated was one of the best choice they could have made. If this movie was live action, it would be a lot of trouble and a level of animation. And with the mid-credit scene teasing the second movie, you gotta go check that out. And I'm just so hyped for this franchise again. I think the last time I saw a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie was around 8-9 years ago, I think. So it's been a long time since I've been introduced to this franchise. Just now with this movie just got me hyped on this franchise again. I'm just wanting to at least get a trilogy. I hope we at least get a trilogy of movies or of animated movies produced by Seth Rogen and with these casts. And something I wanted to mention is also the villains, voiced by all these famous people in Hollywood, like Bebop and Rocksteady, voiced by Seth Rogen and Mr. John Cena himself. And then we have Mando Gecko, voiced by Paul Rudd, and we have the main villain Superfly, voiced by Ice Cube. And I found Superfly as a character really interesting with how Ice Cube played this character and a new spin of this character. And there's a lot of moments where you can see him actually being a menace, honestly. He is menacing. So for TMNT Mutant Mayhem, I'm giving scratch that, animation 3 points. It's just perfect. And maybe it's not Spider-Verse level, but like I said, these movies have two different animation styles. At least I think so. And now for acting and dialogue, I'm giving it 3 points. All the voice casting was just perfect, from the Turtles to the villains, and of course Jackie Chan as freaking Splinter himself. And I just found myself, actually, the humor was just funny. Maybe not everyone is going to like the humor, but I found it really fun, and with the modern spin of these teenagers, like slang words like wrist, sus, bro, and these slang words actually being used by actual teenagers. That is actually how we live. The teenage world is actually like that. We use the word sometimes wrist. We use bro. We don't use sus a lot, but sometimes. And the humor was just perfect. And now for storytelling, I'm giving it 1 point. It's a bit simple, but come on, what do you expect from this movie? I mean, the villain and just the whole story in general was a bit simple, but it's very effective. And now, did I like it? Does it deserve one more point? Yes. It deserved one more point because even for that, I grew up with the Michael Bay films and became a fan of the Turtles through those films. This movie was just a fresh reminder why I love this franchise. So, if I just add those up, that'll be 7 points. With one bonus point, that'll be 8 points. So with that, I'll be ranking this movie an 8 out of 10. Or a 3.5 out of 5 stars if you count Letterboxd, Rotten Tomatoes, or any other ranking system with stars. But if I were to give it a critical rating, I would have to go with a B+. I would definitely recommend you guys check this movie out in theaters because it's just it's such a good, from the newcomers and old Turtles fans. It is just, if you're an old Turtle fan, it's just a fresh reminder why you're going to love this franchise. But that's just my review on this new movie. What did you think about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem? And yeah, what did you like or dislike about this movie? And don't forget to like and subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. Peace out.